Yeah, welcome back. Today we are doing Ethan Just Effing Destroyed Hasan and His Orbiters by More Pegasus. A brand new one that came out September 27th, just 3 days before this one will be uploaded. So let's get started.
Welcome back to a series so poetic, even Shakespeare subscribed. In today's video, Hasan is calling out Ethan Klein, asking him to drop the lawsuits against Casey Denims and Froggen. He's crashing out, calling everybody Israel dick riders, and says that people are being
I mean, what else is new? He thinks everybody's a dick rider for Israel, so
racist towards him. He's now blaming Ethan and Destiny for all of his problems, I guess, since Asmon's on break.
because because Tectone versus Jesus. I list everybody except the name I'm looking for. I'm like my own mother. But Hasan, he has Hasan versus accountability. Hasan loses every single time.
Ethan has responded, absolutely cooking Hasan. He's going after liberals, saying they need to stop criticizing him in order to beat Trump. He's going full schizo, saying the government is gonna put him in a concentration camp. He's still
Yeah, we don't have concentration camps. We have deportation facilities like Alligator Alcatraz.
hoping about the ICE shooter, calling it a false flag. He's now calling himself a good role
Yeah, no, the ICE shooter wasn't a false flag. The ICE shooter just has bad aim.
model for men. You can't be serious. Ultimate gooning lord, Dan Clancy.
Cannot wait for him to be testifying before Congress and to have to tell, yeah, I allow anti-Semitism and terrorist support on my platform from the likes of Hasan Piker.
Is facing criticism.
And I never ban him ever for these things, even though I ban other people for basically the same offenses.
For safety regarding TwitchCon, Asmongold and Tectone have responded. Subscribe or you have to lick Dan Clancy's gooning rag. Report show.
We better all subscribe. We don't want that thing. It's heavily used.
Hasan only supports 4 terrorist organizations. Any advice, Jellywig?
Let's up those numbers!
He has to squeeze it in every single time. A jellywig and up in those numbers.
Now let's begin with Hasan calling out Ethan, asking him to drop the lawsuits against his orbiting moons. Now, quick recap if you're new to the series. Basically, Ethan Klein
I'm not new, but I'll leave it around for you.
sued Casey Denims and Froggen for violating copyright.
That's a jump
and
scare
stealing
every
his video.
time.
Since then, they had a ton of meltdowns and gave me a ton of views. They all started their GoFundMes for their legal expenses.
And weird that they all kind of teetered out around 40K. And, you know, some of them, like her, Brogan here, is asking for 200K. And in the GoFundMe, it's listed for my lawsuit and anything else related to it. So literally, she could be spending your guys' money you donated to her on the lawsuit itself. That'll wind up going to Ethan's pocket, or it'll be on her gas on the way to drive to the courthouse, or at the McDonald's she'll get on the way there and back.
But none of them got even close to their goal. And that brings us to today. Hasan tells Ethan Klein to drop the lawsuits.
He said he laid off you because of the whole Charlie Kirk thing, so there's that at least. Great. Remember when he also said that I falsely claimed that I was issuing a death threat against his wife, and then
There was no false. He literally threatened his wife.
got mad at Destiny because Destiny took that as an opportunity to literally issue an actual direct death threat against me, and then he openly stated, "Oh, you
Hasan versus Destiny is literally 2 retards fighting, and I'm here for it. Give me the fucking popcorn.
ruined it. We really had a win here, but you fucking had to open your mouth and ruin it. Now he can play the victim." That's what he said. I think that shows you a lot about the calculations at play here. Drop the lawsuits, Ethan. Drop the lawsuits. You know they're
No.
frivolous. You know it has nothing to do with copyright or anything like that. You'll win a lot more good favor if you were to do that. I know you
Yeah, but it'll win a lot of money from you and your orbiters if he doesn't.
you think that the people that you're attacking are unfavorable by the new audience that you have cultivated, but it's a good gesture. Laid off you complaining about your op-ed and reposting the same out of context clip about Kamala versus Trump 10 times. I know that he did do that when I got the op-ed. I'm sure he's not actually going to lay off regardless. He just seems like a petty tyrant himself. Just
He's not a petty tyrant. You're just a piece of garbage.
so thin-skinned, so narcissistic. He feels like when people have
Because you gotta remember, he's a communist with a Gucci bag, got his Prada kicks, drives a Porsche Taycan.
wronged him in his mind, he just never stops. It's clear to me. The reason why I say that is because he didn't stop even when his own fans were like, dude, just shut the fuck up about this. Like, okay, we got it. We hate
I mean, if you don't stop when your fans tell you to, why would he?
Hasan. He sucks.
Okay, so much to go over there. I mean, how many lies in the span of 1 minute? First off, Ethan, do not listen to Hasan. I mean, you will never win his or his community's favor, like, ever. Pretty much nothing you ever do will satisfy these kinds of people. They will basically be hunting you till the ends of the earth because you don't actually support terrorism.
He supports terrorists. Haha, Hasan, you need to go to jail for this. This video here, I don't know why this interview, when he's going, I love you at the end to a terrorist. It's like, no, that's bad.
And you actually have some nuance, and you actually care about human lives on both sides of a conflict, which is apparently the greatest sin in Hasan's whole community, right? Second off, Ethan did actually lay off on you for 2 reasons. Number one, he actually does care about political violence and doesn't want the situation to escalate after the Charlie Kirk shooting. Obviously, he saw the video, is crying about it because he felt like, Charlie was also a father, so he can feel that emotion of just, so a kid's losing their father, and it's just a sad thing to think about.
Because one can have sympathy for someone that they didn't agree with fully because of the other factors in their life. Being a father, having, a lovely family, everybody around him that loved him, the successful business he ran, the ability to sit down and talk with anybody.
But I feel like the main reason that Ethan's probably laying off is because he was probably afraid of Hasan's whole community and things actually getting violent for himself, right? Because Hasan, your debate opponent, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated 2 weeks before the actual debate. Now, Ethan also
Yeah, and Hasan would probably still lose to a corpse.
had debated you, so he has that sort of proximity to you. He openly disagreed with you and is in conflict with you. You frequently bring up his name as well. And believe it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, that is actually very dangerous because opposing Hasan's viewpoints and radical lefty ideology is actually legitimately dangerous because that's how crazy it's gotten. And that's the consequences of Hasan constantly bolstering this violence in his community, this radical rhetoric, calling everybody Nazis, fascists. Also, he said that Ethan falsely claimed that he issued a death threat against his wife. So according to Hasan, Ela is a baby killer terrorist who is in his own words, valid military target. But apparently that's not a death threat. Apparently a valid military target is, you're valid for, I guess, shootings, bombs, shit like that. But yeah, not a death threat, guys. Then he said that the lawsuits are frivolous, but KCTron and Denim's lawyers both agree that it's not frivolous, and they're allowing the whole thing to proceed without obstruction. If it was frivolous, it would get thrown out, actually, but there's full cooperation going on there. So
there
again,
is merit to the lawsuit.
We got the Ethan parody account. Because of this, I'm going to sue even harder. This is as close as we'll see to Hasan publicly begging. Oh my god. Right, so then he calls them all Israel dick riders and says that people are being racist towards him because he's brown.
Down to YouTubers who spent the last 2 years cementing their legacy as rapacious dick riders of Israel by trying to deplatform all of its prominent critics. Of course, they still, on the one...
Hasan, we're not trying to deplatform you. We are just trying to get the rules of the platform you are on enforced all around. And that includes you. If it didn't include you, then the platform is playing unfair, and they are.
On one hand, are seemingly proud of their accomplishments in that time period, while simultaneously trying to rewrite the narrative as though they did not actively try to call every somewhat brown or Muslim sounding critic.
You know, I would love to see the moment Hasan found out that Dan Clancy had to go testify before Congress. I would love to find that moment where Hasan, in a true sense of, oh crap, my channel might be fully banned forever after this.
Of Israel, a terrorist, an
is
Islamist
potentially
fundamentalist
at
terrorist of
risk.
the highest order that deserves not only scrutiny but also potential prosecution. Definitely deplatforming, so much so that the entire platform that hosts any sort of dissent against Israel and Israel's genocide must also suffer material harm. Wonder who I'm talking about. Wonder who I could be referencing. A person who, now that fucking now that TikTok is back in the hands of someone who is sympathetic to the Zionist cause, might be trying to rewrite history. There are things that people like this could do, like, I don't know, drop the frivolous litigation pursuit. That could be a...
He's begging. He's begging for it to be dropped. Please, please, Ethan Klein, don't sue all my friends. Then they'll get mad at me.
good start for people to let bygones be bygones. I don't know if it would rewrite the history. Just thinking out loud here.
There we go. Schrodinger's Turk back at it again. I love how he's actually embarrassed now. He can't even say that he's brown. He has to say somewhat brown. You know, somewhat possibly brown. Maybe if I get
Well, because he's the part of the group that thinks brown people are just being rounded up at random and deported. That, yeah, of course he doesn't want to admit he's brown, even though that's fully false.
extra tan today, I'll actually check the box, you know, get the victim points or whatever. Brother, you do not face racism. Not a single soul has ever thought, I need to discriminate against Hasan because he's brown. No, nobody has ever thought that. Not even the most racist motherflip on the planet, okay? Also,
The only time that's ever happened is in Hasan's own head, when he created the scenario in his own mind.
just because you criticize terrorists does not make you an Israel dick rider. For the last time, bro, how many times are you going to try to gaslight your audience? It is possible to not like Hasan and not be an Israel dick rider. It's not like they go hand in hand or whatever, as he would like you to believe. Now, I don't know why he still feels the need to defend Twitch or whatever. Like, Twitch deserves criticisms for not enforcing their rules in TOS and allowing you to be on the platform. That's like the main issue going on there. So it's not unreasonable at all to call them out. How can it be crying about lawsuits when there's a genocide going? Gotcha there, Hasan. Gotcha. Just back down, bro. I know I talked a lot of trash, but I was just playing. The internet will like you more for it, bro. Just do it, bro. Hasan needs to be taught a lesson, and this lawsuit is doing just that.
It 100% is. I just wish that Ethan hadn't asked Hasan to watch the video directly, so that Hasan could have just gone to it, you know, on his own, and done the same thing that his orbiters did with it. He 100% would have. He 100% would have come to the end and been like, great, thanks for watching that with me, instead of going and giving him a like.
To be fair, I don't think he actually cares. He's just sort of pretending to care.
Probably.
So he's like,
He'd probably be the petty guy to tell everybody to go over and
orbiting
dislike
moons will get off
bomb
his
it.
back. Moving on to Hasan embracing stoicism about as well as iDubbbz, basically blaming literally everybody else for his problems. Hasan thinks Destiny, Ethan, and Dan Saltman are the reason for his current day problems.
To this day, so much of the dumb nonsense that I see online from people who think like, oh, I'm pro-Palestine too. I'm just pro-Palestine in not this direction, but some other fucking unforeseeable direction. No matter where I go, when I see these fucking comments like, Hasan, isn't that guy like, doesn't he glaze terrorists, from some of the dumbest right-wingers of all time, and even some fucking dumb liberals who don't know any better. It all stands.
There's a lot of dumb fuck liberals, but there aren't as many dumb fuck conservatives and Republicans. There's a few of them, though. I happen to have met a few. Not the best individuals.
Comes back to the same deplatforming initiatives that ultimately failed,
But they're a hell of a lot better than those on the left who would want me dead.
conducted by Sex Pestany, who ruined his own fucking career once again, and also his partner in crime, Ethan fucking Klein.
Dude, honestly, how are you allowed to do this? Like, legitimately, Ethan and Destiny are not partners. They never
They hate each other. those are a couple of people who would fight it constantly
have
too.
been. Apparently, they've never even had a single conversation. This is all based on Ethan looking at like a Reddit post of potentially one of Destiny's fans, and then Hasan just invents this entire narrative about how they're in cahoots. And he basically says this about all
The only thing Hasan could ever invent is a false narrative.
his enemies. They're basically all spawned from Destiny, right? Destiny has brainwashed all of them, even though we openly call out Destiny as a degenerate fucking creep who also advocates political violence just like you, right?
And don't forget that Destiny has self-admitted to having child porn or child sexual assault material on his computer.
Right? He thinks like we're all in Destiny's favor. Nobody likes that guy, bro. He's just as bad as you, if not worse. Just because you have wet dreams about both of them doesn't mean it's actually true in real life. Also, he keeps complaining about people calling him like a terrorist supporter. I feel like
I'm sorry, I like to call a whale sometimes, and I like to call a terrorist supporter sometimes. It's okay. We're just telling him the truth.
doing a public service here, just informing people of your unrelenting conquest of terrorist fucking schlong sucking. You also admit it routinely. It's like you've never backed off on it. You just add more organizations. Just the other day, after Antifa was designated a terrorist org, you go, well, actually, I'm very anti-fascist myself. Right after they're designated a terrorist org. Like, I don't know, man. It's like you lean into it on purpose.
And also his partner in crime, Ethan fucking Klein, who not only was aligning himself and utilizing Destiny's own clips out of context compilations, not only did he use those clips out of context to drive home an incredibly racist narrative that a critic of Israel was actually a terrorist, a Muslim critic of Israel was actually a terrorist, over and over again, really leaning into those Islamophobic sentiments, weaponizing it like it was nothing, on the wrong fucking side of a goddamn genocide. But also, even went as far as to directly, materially align with Destiny's partner, his podcast co-host, Dan Saltman, a 60-year-old psychopath.
You know, now I'm starting to get the comments. Like, a lot of you guys say that, you know, whenever I play a Sean Piker clip, you just sort of tune it out and you're like, you know, you just zone out because you've listened to so much of his actual bullshit. And
I mean, at this point, I could probably tune out 50% of his conversations, but still follow them.
And the only thing I could think of when watching this clip is that, oh my god, that dog is so fucking cooked. Look at that poor baby. Just absolutely
The thing I feel bad for most in this world is that poor dog of Hasan's. She has to sit there and listen to him yelling about conservatives and Trump all day long, every day. That poor dog needs a new owner.
doomed to a life of unrelenting torture. Like every day, this dog has to sit there, watch Hasan Piker scream all day, lose his mind, have a mental breakdown. Like, I legitimately would not wish that fate on my worst enemy, but his poor dog has to deal with this all the time. In fact, just researching for my videos is already a big pain. You know, the things I do for you guys. Smash a like, obviously. And yeah, I feel like that dog has been through hell and back. Absolute trooper.
100%.
W for the dog. Also, I find it
The dog is better than he is.
hilarious Hasan is criticizing anybody for aligning with anyone. You literally had Luffy, self-proclaimed Luffy, on your stream, buddy. I don't think you have any room to talk. This crash out clip is everything. Destiny, and Ethan are secret besties. Everything's Destiny's fault. Ethan is associated with Nazis. Dan is 60 years old. And then we got the diabolical picture of the two dastardly duo. Anyways, an actual lawyer responded to Hasan about the copyright thing. Hasan, please stop pretending you understand anything about copyright law. You can barely read properly. Getting
Roasted.
cooked by a lawyer. That's a new low. Only geopolitics expert that would lose a best of 3 games on Wordle. Moving on.
When he brings other facts in there just to jab at him. Oh, it's just so much better coming from a lawyer.
On to Ethan's response, Ethan Klein says Hasan leaves him no choice but to continue his lawsuits after calling them frivolous. So he's responding to the clip where Hasan is telling Ethan to drop the lawsuits. What's funny is that by spreading this false narrative that the lawsuits are frivolous, my only option to be vindicated is to win the lawsuit to prove it wasn't frivolous. If I drop them now, people would just say it's proof that they were frivolous. So Hasan really is forcing the lawsuit to continue.
That's the ironic part of that. If he drops them, he gives in and proves that, oh, they were frivolous. But if he goes through with them and wins them, it'll be even
you can't
bigger.
really argue with that logic, can ya? Congrats, Hasan. You have now screwed them even more than before. And I just find this whole thing hilarious. All the Orbiters had to do was just apologize. Literally just admit some wrongdoing, take some accountability, but instead, they'd rather lose everything, all of their money. Casey can't afford weed anymore.
Yeah, she'll figure out some way to afford it, but, if she can afford some less, maybe she'll be able to think straight.
Apparently her house is getting cooked or something. And think of friggin', she probably can't afford the Big Mac.
She can't afford extra Big Mac sauce anymore. No, she can't. She couldn't afford the extra charge for that if she wanted to. And it'll probably allow her to live longer.
Anymore. It's diabolical. Ethan not beating the Jew stereotypes by going through with this. Part of me is for it because F Hasan, but there are optics here to consider. Not a good look for him, though I don't give a shit about him either. Yeah, this is a weird ass tweet. He's literally just getting tit for tat after they harassed him first. We're gonna be partying good when these three biz lose. And we got the SpongeBob meme. Add it to the collection. Moving on to Hasan crying about liberals. This guy just cries about everybody, it seems. The funniest thing is that this guy just hates both sides, and both sides hate him. He hates the right because he's a radical lefty lunatic, and he hates the left because he's a radical lefty lunatic. Hasan pins the blame on liberals for going at leftists and allowing fascism to thrive. So apparently you're not allowed to criticize Hasan in any capacity, and that's the reason why I guess fascism is thriving, which by that he means Trump is winning or whatever.
Hasan is the biggest narcissist in the world. He's a bigger narcissist than Pirate Software. Did you know that dude worked at Blizzard?
Not necessarily new conditions, but like a new patina, right? Because even liberals themselves understand that this monoculture.
I get what Pegasus says. Every time he starts speaking, I want to just tune him out.
Is destined for doom and despair. It's over. People are moving away from it. Okay. And unfortunately, many people are not just moving away from it, but they're moving in the direction of fascism, fascist mechanisms of control, rather than.
Yes, because anything that's not a Hasan good is fascism.
And moving away from it towards a new evolution of the economy, one that actually analyzes the class contradictions and one that actually seeks to have more egalitarian outcomes.
The class contradiction comes from the viewers of Hasan to Hasan himself. I bet you none of his viewers have a $3 million mansion, a Porsche Taycan, live in LA, and, can make millions off of just going live and saying, hey, donate to me.
For all on the basis of class, rather than other sectarian identity metrics, color, creed, religious background, ethnicity, nationality, and the like. Unfortunately, due to the endless conquest that liberals have engaged in against their left flank, they have designed this environment where fascism can thrive.
Ah, yes. Liberals going after their left flank. So apparently Hasan has this own sort of nomenclature for himself, his own phrasing. He calls himself the left flank, as if they're in some sort of this war. And Hasan is like the secret weapon, right? That you're supposed to unleash upon your enemy. This absolutely unbeatable force, the left flank coming in and just disrupting all their operations, right? Hasan, how do I break this to you nicely? You're like the #1 converter of the centrist voter to right wing, because
back when I was quite more moderate in the middle and I was a little brainwashed by that side. Yes. I actually did watch Hasan at that time. And as weird as it sounds, I enjoyed it at the time. But then about I think 3-ish years ago, maybe a little more than that, he had this strange turn where all of a sudden he was like a moderate left to real far left to terrorist supporter to dick rider for Palestine. And it's like, does he really believe for free Palestine by these other actions? I don't think so. I think he just hates Israel more than he likes Palestine.
Because everybody sees you and how regarded you are, and just like, okay, give me the opposite, make me the opposite of whatever the heck this is. You're just not helping liberals at all, so you can't expect them to actually help you, right? There's numerous clips of Hasan going, well, Kamala Harris would be no different than Trump or whatever in regarding whatever random policy or whatever, and he basically constantly criticizes the whole, liberal administration as well. And in that,
if you ask me, I think Biden was a puppet during his whole term, outside of maybe the first year, in that Kamala Harris was actually the one running things behind the scenes. And that's why the country failed so heavily on border control, because she was the border czar, but she was too busy doing everything else that she just said, no, don't worry about it. Let everybody in.
that sense sabotages his own side as well. So I don't know, he wants his like radical fringe audience, which is like funding his lifestyle and everything and giving him all these views, but then also wants to be taken seriously, which is just not meshing. Also, I don't know what he was yapping about there, something about egalitarian outcomes. I don't know if this is another communist rant, but wouldn't be surprised. I feel like we need a new rule, If you want to LARP as a socialist or communist or whatever, you gotta have a net worth under $3 million. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable rule right there.
If you want to pretend to be a socialist, or if you really want to be a socialist, you should literally be donating everything you own outside of what it takes you to survive. And I don't mean thrive, I mean survive. The minimum food, the minimum house. With being a content creator, of course, he would have to be able to afford a desk, a comfy chair, and the monitors and the editing softwares and all that. But that's all besides the point, because with his choice of career, he would make enough to afford said items.
Otherwise, you get these bullshitters, right?
And there's his Porsche Taycan,
who do not practice what they preach at all. Then he continues going after Democrats and says that because of them not working together, they're gonna put Hasan in concentration camps.
Not concentration camps, just normal jail.
Reason why, even though Donald Trump is very unpopular, the Democrats are even less popular, is because of this reality. They've shied away from addressing any of the needs of their fucking base, or anyone that's in the margins, by the way, which is a much larger percentage anyway. It's a plurality. We're all going to go to fucking concentration camps, and the Democrats are going to be like, well, it wouldn't have happened if you voted for us harder. Republicans know that as long as they can maintain that reliable 25 to 30% psychopathic base, that Democrat unpopularity with the rest of the country, due to their inability to examine critically and address the needs.
Okay, dude, I think you need to take your meds at this point. I mean, what is this level of schizo, bro? They're gonna put me in concentration camps. Buddy, you're openly supporting terrorism and nothing has happened to you. You are so far away from that. And he wants everybody to believe, oh, the government is going after him, specifically targeting Hasan Piker here. You haven't even been banned off Twitch longer than a week, dude. Holy
dude gets banned on Twitch on his day off and is unbanned by the time he comes back the following Monday.
shit. Why does this guy get to cry and play victim 24/7 all day, every day? And it's like nothing is happening to him, but his entire fan base is convinced he's this revolutionary. They're trying to put him in prison or whatever for unjustly. You know what I've actually noticed? Hasan is the ultimate virus who is on your team, right? Because he doesn't want your team to win. Right? He just wants to cry and get all of the attention. He doesn't actually care if Trump wins or Biden.
Hasan, I figured out who he is. He's that person on the team who is always trying to put himself in the craziest situations to get such a minor injury, but then when it happens, he treats it like a major one.
Wins or whatever, right? He just wants to maintain his own audience, his radical fucking lunatic audience. He wants to be taken seriously in politics while also just LARPing in all these different ways or whatever. And it's just pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. Bro needs to start a family already. Buddy is 34, 35. What are you doing, man?
Yeah, dude's getting kind of too late to start doing anything. I mean, he doesn't even have any potentially good options for dating, probably, because I mean, look at this thing. Who would date this? This is undateable. Not even just the looks. Like if someone wants to just hop on and bang him, I'm sure he can find that pretty easy. But dating for like lengthy relationships is out of the question, man. He is ugh.
And it really sucks that fascism and Nazi have become catch-all terms to the point where the words mean almost nothing, and Hasan contributes to it all the time. Like,
And yeah, they are becoming such catch-all terms, being called fascist, being called Nazis. It's like, okay, what you gonna do if we just accept that? Like that, those words now have new meanings. Fascist and Nazi now just mean moderate and right wing.
he does not give a single shit about the overuse of this because it is the perfect way to discredit anybody. It's not just fascism and Nazi, it's all
It's the equivalent of how he just calls the content creators who critique him slap tubers, and then he slanders them by calling them pedophiles and rapists. Like, come
all
on.
these words, like, homophobic, transphobic, bigot, racist. Like, it's just so overused and is never applied to the people who the label actually fits, right? And because of that, people are just not taking it seriously anymore. Now, this is the only way for liberals to get their party back. Keep pushing and doing what's right. Doing what's right is obviously not aligning yourself with fucking Hasan Piker. Here's this meme. Get in there and make it about you. Coming from the guy who told people not to vote for Harris. But no, you're undermining my left flank. Like, such a moron, bro. I just don't understand him. Moving on to Hasan coping about the ICE shooter. So quick recap, a guy shot up an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. He specifically stated he wanted to kill ICE officers and instill terror in them, which is literally terrorism. He also explicitly stated he did not want to kill the illegal immigrants, but ended up killing them anyways because he randomly shot into an unmarked van like a complete idiot. He also put anti-ICE on his bullets, so confirmed, radical lefty lunatic 100%. And Hasan spent the entire last episode denying it, saying that it's impossible to determine his politics. Oh, the median voter is so nuanced or whatever the hell. We debunked all of that. And he continues to cope here.
This is so bad that it made the libs go, I don't really believe this. Like, it even made the libs go,
I haven't seen very many people other than Hasan think it's a false flag, think it's fake, think it's planned. I did see a couple singular tweets that are like, oh, those were planted by a FBI. That's fake. But then you go look at the shooter's, social media profile and everything else surrounding it, and it's like, oh no, this dude definitely just sucked at shooting. He made this whole plan. He was going to climb up on this roof over here, shoot at that one over there, or shoot towards that building over there when an ICE vehicle pulled up. And then she chose to randomly start shooting when he should have, like, a couple days sooner, maybe gone and taken a shooting lesson to improve his accuracy.
this seems weird, right? And I don't know if it's because they're just incompetent. Like, what is this? Like, what? I don't know. It just seems so crazy. It seems like...
And unlike Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk's killer, who etched things into the bullets, this guy just drew it in freaking ink pen.
If they said ICE is not poggers, that would make more sense, dude, than anti-ICE on the bullet, 819 and 824, he searched apps that track the presence of ICE agents. One of the handwritten notes recovered read, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think. Is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof? Further accumulated evidence to this points to indicated high degree of pre-attack planning. The FBI...
He 100% had been planning this for, I would say, at minimum a week, to get all the equipment, to get the locations, and the fact that, when he started searching things, it looks like he started in August, a month prior, so he's like, okay, yeah, he started planning it a month before he actually committed it. Or at least that was one of the steps that he did, was a month prior.
Will provide further updates when able. So yeah, they're trying to tie this to like the ICE tracker apps. They're gonna make that illegal too. I think that all left.
I think they should make the ICE tracker apps illegal, or everybody should download it and just start falsely, saying ICE is here, ICE is there, and then people will start to panic thinking ICE is absolutely everywhere when they're actually in, like one little tiny area over there.
This organizing is illegal as well. Every neo-lib tweeter below doesn't buy it. Yeah, no, I do like that the liberals, even liberals who normally would be totally reliant on government, like official organs of the government saying anything really, have looked at this and been like, nah, this doesn't make a lot of sense.
Nothing this year has taught me that liberals listen to the government. They listen to Dr. Fauci, they listen to their mask mandates, but they don't listen to the sane individuals in power. The ones who bring facts, logic, with things to back them up in knowledge. And it's like, come on. What are we doing?
I mean, all of these shootings have got to be the most like eye-opening thing to any person with a shred of common sense. Like, people see the facts in front of their face, right there. It's right there, ready to grab. They read it out. And they still deny it, still pretend it's a false flag. We saw his comment section full of, oh, it's definitely a false flag or whatever. Basically, they're implying that the FBI is purposely writing on the bullets to brand the shooter with a motive. They're forging the shooter's literal notes as well, which is just fucking unreasonable. It's never gonna.
Yeah, are they also making the shooter's profile leftist communist rhetoric? Like, come on.
Also, according to them, apparently they forged his previously available communist profile picture as well, right? They forged everything, guys. They forged the fact that he went to a fucking ICE facility to shoot the ICE officers. That was forged as well. It was all set up by Israel, actually. I mean, let's just evaluate what's actually gone down. We had the Charlie Kirk shooter. This guy was branded as a right-wing MAGA Nazi guy, right? But
yeah, even though he's the most far left trans defender because of his roommate boyfriend.
He had Antifa messaging, right? And a trans furry partner or whatever the fuck. It's legitimately like nothing would actually satisfy them. It's like they only see the version of reality that suits their narrative, right? So then he basically continues his false flag theory.
I hate to sound like a liberal, but this is a ridiculous thing to do. You can't be running around and being like, this is a bad guy and I found out exactly what their biases are, and I'll have you know, it might come as a surprise, but the shooter was exactly the opposite of my worldview and was very clearly acting out in a way that I want to, you know, in all of the groups that I want to silence and suppress. You can't do that.
Well, he was. We're just telling you the honest truth. You're crazy for that.
You can't do that, man. You can't do that. I'm not even going to look at the manifesto. I'm just going to come out and
Oh, why? Because the last time you looked at a manifesto, it went so well for you?
be like, that's a right-wing guy. That's a right-wing guy. Bet you he's a Ben Shapiro fan. We got to start.
I bet you he's an Israel guy. He's definitely a right-wing Israel MAGA dick rider. He definitely is everything I'm against. Even though he literally would probably be a happy guy to go out and get drinks with you, Hasan.
We got to start taking care of these Ben Shapiro style content creators. Like, that would be insane.
Hasan, maybe consider this. Your side is actually fucking crazy. Is that actually in the docket of possible conclusions there?
Yeah, the left is such a violent group. There was a study I was looking at, and it was like the amount of the groups of people who think violence is justified for political means, and on the right and the left for the same age group of people, the right's group was like 3%, while the left had a whopping 24%. That means they are 8 times more likely to resort to violence for political means to get what they want, which is an absolutely awful thing to think about, because that means nearly 1 in 4 Democrats would be just fine with you being killed if you're not with them. They are totally the Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith. You're not with me, you're my enemy.
You still call them Gestapo even after the actual shooting, basically encouraging even more violence here. And this is the natural result. You get a bunch of mentally ill morons radicalized by idiot political commentators like Hasan Piker here, right? And this is the result, okay? Just more and more violence. And that's why people are asking just some level of moderation for these absolute lunatics who openly calls for violence, which is illegal. That is not protected speech. That is illegal, right? You should at least be banned from the platform. But these platforms are hijacked by fucking gooning lords, all right? We can't do anything about it. Also, I just love
The gooning king himself, Mr. Danathan Clansathan.
how he's like, wow, guys, why are all the radical lunatics on my side? That's awfully convenient, guys. Like,
It's almost like they watch you, Hasan, and that they've been encouraged by you. But that couldn't be. You don't encourage violence. And then, easily we could put a list of clips. There's a guy, he's got like a 20-minute video of just things he said this year that are incitements of violence.
I don't know, man. Take a guess. Take a guess. Then he says one of the dumbest things ever. He calls himself a good role model for men. You can't
A good role model in Bizarro World.
be serious. You just can't be serious.
And they're getting the absolute worst role models. Like, oh my God. They're
The best of role models right now, I think, obviously Donald Trump himself. He's pretty good. He's shown that, you can have one of the toughest jobs on the planet and you can still be working your ass off at almost 80 years old. That man is awesome. Other good role models. We have people like Asmongold who, hygiene-wise, you may not want to listen to it. You may not want to copy him. But as far as morals and the way he believes with how he grew up, yeah, he 100% is a good role model in that regard. As well as Tectone, who may not have had the happiest life growing up all the time. He might not have had the greatest relationship with his peers and parents. But at least he is a good individual. Yeah, his dad may have done some questionable things in his past, but we are not our parents. Otherwise, Hasan, you are someone who, if you were the benevolent leader of the world, you'd legalize bestiality.
are not many dudes out there who are prominent in media, whether it be independent media, whether it be Twitch, whether it be Kick. Oh my God, don't even get me started on Kick. Whether it be Kick.
At least Kick will, implement their rules in a fair manner, unlike Twitch. Twitch will never ban you unless forced by the government, I think. You happen to align with Dan Clancy, so he likes you. Weirdly, I don't know why that guy likes terrorists, but maybe he doesn't realize that's what he's liking. I don't know how that's possible at this point, though. He definitely knows what he's doing.
But I kind of understand that people are just so cooked. I kind of get why it's a powder keg for a lot of young men, because there's just very few alternative good role models.
Like, I'd even say Nick Fuentes is a better role model than Hasan Piker, and Nick Fuentes says some wild, out-of-pocket shit that I wouldn't even, jokingly say to some. Like, come on.
I would consider myself to be a decent role model for young men, but I'm constantly yelled at and smeared with regular frequency by the worst possible role models. Like, look at all my enemies.
Hasan's not even a good role model for terrorists.
You got the Andrew Tates of the world, the Aiden Ross of the world, the people that are just like priming an entire generation to be little savages.
Nah, this guy's actual comedy, bro. He's actually calling himself a good role model for men. Dude.
Yeah, right when he sat here with Nick NMP Lol and literally had him sitting watching terrorist propaganda.
How is this guy real? Now, I don't like those other guys either. They're probably pieces of shit as well. But Hasan calling himself a good role model is crazy. What values do you actually support? You support terrorism, right? You lie and slander people on the regular. You encourage violence on the regular. You date prawn stars and get cucked by other men. Great values right there. Your friends are some of the worst people ever. You got fucking iDubbbz and Froggen and shit like that. People who say American veterans deserve PTSD and shit.
Rogan, I think, is the only one who could make Hasan truly happy in a relationship. Those two are perfect for each other. Change my mind.
Or whatever. You got Casey Tron on your docket. You got denims. It was like kids cannot fit.
Denims isn't even good with her clothes off. I don't know why people pay her to take them off. They should be paying her to put them back on.
Feel trauma, whatever. And then you got yourself, the worst of them all. Holy shit. You got Noah Samson being like, we need to take up arms against the, we have direct access to the politicians and the guns and everything. Right, so this next part, he says that conservative guys are whiny. And the thing is, he's actually supposed to be talking about red pill men here. And then he uses conservative interchangeably. So he basically thinks that all conservative guys are red pill men. This guy's such a fucking delusional projector. By the way, this is the guy whose past was entirely these bro tips and how to sleep with women. Like, he is the guy he's describing.
When the did every goddamn conservative turn into a whiny dipshit baby? Okay, at least when SJWs are chirping and are behaving in a hysterical manner, it makes sense. They're coming from a place of empathy, right? They're like empathizing too much. They're demonstrating too much empathy for others of marginalized background. It's like conservatives are unbelievable. When they cry, I'm like, dude, you're not only trying to posture as a strong beacon of alpha dog masculinity, and you're whining like a bitch while you're doing this. God damn, dude. There is nothing more repulsive to me than a whiny bigot, okay? If you're going to be a bigot, at least stand on it, all right? Don't just come in here and be like, well, it's time for some cancel culture. So much for the tolerant left. Oh, why are you generalizing conservative men?
What's wrong there? I didn't hear him say any lies. It is all literally, what's this going on about the tolerant left? They preached that they were so inclusive. Unless you disagree with them.
Oh, why are you calling out my bigotry? Don't you know it's a part of my standpoint theory? I'm doing a bodies in spaces as a bigot. It's so funny because like the same dudes will literally, on the one hand, whine endlessly. We saw this in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk stuff. Like so many prominent neo-Nazi accounts on Twitter who've spent every waking moment being like, we have to kill every trans person. Time to dunk on a trans person. And then
I have seen absolutely zero posts indicating that Republicans want to kill trans people. It's not the thing we're going after. The going after is the trans people in women's spaces, trans men who think they're trans, who have a mental illness, who also are also like, hey, I want to go into all the ladies' spaces, and then they try to, and then, not all of them, but a small sect of them aren't actually genuine in it, and then they just use the opportunity to harass and even harm women. So yes, they have to 100% stay out of their spaces. I fully agree with the fact that 99.9% of guys probably wouldn't care if some woman pretending to be a man came in, pulled out her shiwi funnel, and started whizzing next to a guy at the urinal. I'm sure he would, if it would be like, hey, urinal rules mean you need to be one more over instead of right next to me, but nice try.
they have the audacity to turn around and be like, oh my God, the left is so violent.
And the only trans we're going after is the kids. We don't need you screwing with the children. Let them be kids. If they want to transition at 18, to me, by all means, I don't give a crap. Do whatever you want. It's your life. Ruin it or enjoy it the whatever way you choose and see fit. And then there's the secondary. We don't need, it's not like, when we put trans men in women's sports, that makes it very easy, fair for the women. In fact, it just gives everybody a chance to gamble on someone. Like, oh, that person is obviously 2 to 4 inches taller than the rest of the competition, and when they were a guy, they already swam faster than most of them. Yeah, I'm using swimmers for an example, but it could be runners, and as a male, he ran so much faster, so that they're not going to want them both in the same groups. Boxing is a big one. What was it, Iman Khalif at the Olympics last year, who is a male, boxing females and harming some of them having lifelong consequences because they weren't trained to get hit by a man. They were trained and sparred with women who are the same sizes as them, and they were less afraid to fight.
Violent. The left is so violent. Please, mods. Please, Donald Trump, save me. Donald Trump, please save me. Your people do the same. Shut the fuck up. Shut your bitch ass up right now.
By the way,
His people do far worse than the same.
just a reminder, he's calling other people whiny in this clip. This guy, what the fuck are you doing right here? You're having a meltdown over a chatter. Buddy, get a grip. I mean, Hasan calling anybody whiny is just hilarious. This guy's like, if you tune into his stream on a random occasion, there's like a 90% chance he'll be whining about someone or something. You know what? I'm making that into a soundbite. That's him. That's him crying all the time. Also, for the love of God, how did he bring up trans people again? How did he do this? This was a random conversation. inserted Israel, inserted trans people, inserted some gay shit. Like, buddy, how can you not have a regular conversation without bringing up some random shit, bro? Like,
Come on, Pegasus, you know he can't have a conversation without bringing up random shit. I bet you he's, just sitting eating breakfast every morning, and he just has to start screaming about what Israel did yesterday.
when you order at fucking Starbucks, do you go one trans? Or like, what the hell are you doing?
No, he goes to Starbucks and he says, "One order for me, the socialist, who's gonna go take it out and drive it away in his Porsche Taycan to his $3 million house."
Buddy. Anyways, the meltdown continues.
I just don't get it. I'm a very stubborn person. Maybe that's why I have a lot of pride. Maybe that's the reason. But I will never
Is that why he's still stuck on the left? Because he's a very stubborn person. I thought he was just retarded.
understand how people be like, a lot of people yelled at me, so I changed my entire worldview. It's like, okay, well, you're spineless then. You are just demonstrating your lack of spine. You are just constantly trying to find victimhood. And it's so crazy because in the endless the endless sequence of events, the endless conquest to find a permanent victimhood status, you also simultaneously try to present yourself as strong. It doesn't make any sense. People call me a misogynist all the time. People call me racist all the time. People call me a Nazi. That doesn't change my worldview. I don't go, oh my God, I'm right wing now. What's wrong with you? Have some goddamn conviction.
Wait, Hasan actually thinks that changing your worldview after getting new information is actually spineless. No, Hasan, that's called broadening your perspective, something that would be absolutely incompatible for you, absolutely incomprehensible for you, actually, because you could not understand that. You would be like, what the fuck? This person's grifting, obviously. But no, people actually have open minds and are open to changing their opinions when they're presented with the facts, unlike you, who reads the facts in front of your face and goes, well, false flag. Well, the FBI planted that, totally. Like, dude, delusional, actually delusional. By the way, he said conviction. He said have some conviction. Play the clip. Play the Gaza clip.
Dude, I might actually take Marsh with me to Gaza.
Gaza?
Yeah.
Is it dangerous?
Yeah.
Yes. I unfortunately most likely will not be able to go.
Is it dangerous?
Yeah.
Yes. The people that I did talk to said that they could not give me security assurances.
Is it dangerous?
Yeah.
Yes. Have some conviction.
Classic. That's a classic. We got an entire folder of these fellas. Mr. Conviction right here. Wah! It's dangerous. Wah! Moving on to the ultimate gooning lord. Twitch CEO, Dan.
Hasan, I don't think could last more than a day living in Gaza. I think after a little while there, he would immediately be like, I'm tired of this shit. I want to go home.
Clancy. Basically, streamers Valkyrie and QT were saying that they're afraid to go to TwitchCon. This is after the Charlie Kirk shooting and the crazy political climate. Dan Clancy responds to streamers' safety concerns regarding TwitchCon, says the platform is a zero-tolerance policy. Twitch responds to TwitchCon safety concerns as Valkyrie and QT Cinderella drop out.
Good. They don't need to go there. In fact, I think they should just start streaming on different platforms and leave Twitch. Twitch is a toxic platform, and it is only hurting them to stay on it. There's a reason why I only go over to Twitch once a month to take my free Twitch Prime sub and to give it to one of the creators I actually want to support and still see around. Usually it goes to Asmongold because, well, we don't want to throw it to Tectone. He might get banned and not get any of it.
I'm kind of afraid to go to TwitchCon, Ray admitted. I've been so...
And yeah, I understand why these two girls are fully afraid of going to TwitchCon this year because of last year's extremely high amounts of sexual assaults that were reported,
anxious and scared and
and the even higher level of sexual harassment.
sad this whole past week with everything that's been going on. With all due respect, I don't think you should go to, TwitchCon or whatever, but why would random streamers be scared about this? Unless you have some association with Hasan. QT, I can understand. You have a podcast with them. Okay, that makes sense. Ray, I don't know. There's some random rumors going around that they're like in a relationship. If that's the case, yes, you should probably be scared. Yes. We're in a bit of a conundrum. QT agreed. We're supposed to do Whine About It live and TwitchCon. Love TwitchCon for supporting our show. I've given them a soft, hey, we're in a bit of a panic mode right now. So Dan responds,
there's one question that has been coming up on social media, just in terms of safety and security at TwitchCon in light of recent events. So I want to be very clear. We take security at our events like TwitchCon extremely seriously. Every year, we build on a successful approach to TwitchCon safety and security, particularly
Why does he look like he's reading a script?
as we become aware of new or emerging security or safety challenges. So we have teams focused on this year round, including keeping creators and community members safe on Twitch.
Yeah, but they only give security details to certain creators. Otherwise, some of the smaller ones are left to fend for themselves, as it will be put.
Or at TwitchCon. We have rules and standards regarding TwitchCon attendees that they have to follow. And we limit, for example, if people who've been indefinitely suspended, off-service violations, they're not able to attend. We also look for things that need to protect our streamers and any other issues.
yeah, I'm not believing this absolute fucking dinosaur. The only thing you keep safe is your Hasan gooning rack. We all know it. You got it locked behind 18 layers of security. All right, maximum security safe
Got it
right
buried
there.
in the
Honestly,
bank
my
vault.
advice, do not go to TwitchCon, whether you're a creator, streamer, viewer. They do not deserve your support at all. Horrible platform. Do not know how to enforce their TOS.
100%.
Also, you're probably not safe. You can't trust this guy's fucking security, to be honest. Also, if there's anywhere Hasan is going, I would not go there. Okay, that place is
Exactly. If Hasan is there and you are not a radical leftist libtard, you should not feel safe being there with Hasan.
not safe. Asmongold responded, last year NMP Lol and Wake were SA'd by a streamer and Twitch didn't press charges or pursue any form of legal action against him. Here's a video of the incident. If I was a woman, I would never go to Twitch.
100%. There's a great one from Asmongold there. Miss ya. Hope you come back to streaming soon, buddy. Hope your everything with your family is going well too.
On. And yeah, it's some creepy ass shit. I don't want to show it, but you can check it out if you want to. Tecto responds, I think I'll pass on going to HoothyCon. Now click this video to have an awesome day ahead. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, well, that was more Pegasus with Ethan just effing destroyed Hasan and his orbiters. And you can leave a like on that video. You leave a like on my video. Subscribe to us both and have a wonderful day.